Are you free to express yourself authentically? And do you know the difference between when you're being authentic and when you're not? Today, we're going to go over all of that and show you the most powerful step you could take right now to be authentic, be true and clear with yourself, and through that, have an amazing life. Coming up. Hey, welcome to the Power of Quiet, showing you how to erase the negativity from your life so you can make it a masterpiece of abundance and happiness. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification, because what you're going to see is that every single video here is not going to insult your intelligence. It's not going to throw you a bunch of cheesy sound bites and quotes. What we show you is step by step how to do it, so you can follow it and see the results for yourself and see a big dramatic change in your life. So make sure you subscribe and welcome aboard. Now today, I want to talk about how to be authentic and how to be authentically you. But first, we need to define what it means to be authentic. You see, to most people that I've heard from and that I've read about on what it means to be authentic, generally say to be authentic is to stay true to your word, to do what it is that you say you're going to do. Now that's very important, because doing what you say you're going to do, that's having integrity. And it's also really showing up, stepping up, not just talking the talk, but walking the walk. Very powerful. But is that really being authentic? I mean, haven't you followed your word or followed your decision, but did so stubbornly, only to find out that you're making the wrong decision to begin with? And you're just stubborn and following your ego. And who's to say that whatever your word is, whether it's the right word or not, it could just be your ego messing with you. So let me give you an example. Say you have a friend that asks you to come help them move. And you say, okay, yeah, I'll be there on Saturday. I'll help you move. But in between, another friend calls you up and says, hey, you know that band that you really like? I got front row seats and backstage passes. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's the opportunity of a lifetime. Now, is it authentic to say, okay, I said I was going to be there to help this friend move on Saturday, I got to stick to that? Or is it more authentic to say, hey, this is something for me, an opportunity that I've been waiting for a lifetime? Wouldn't it be more authentic to say, hey, no, this is more important, I'm going to do this instead? Who's to say? It's just a matter of point of view. Or let me give you another example. Let's say that that friend asks you to help and you agree, but afterwards you start to examine your relationship with this friend and you might see, wait, this friend's always asking me to help them, but they're never showing up to help me in return. They're always taking advantage of me. So is it authentic to just go along with that? Or is it more authentic to stand my ground and say, no, look, I've been doing all of this. I'm not getting any mutuality out of this relationship. So this really isn't working. So no, I'm not going to help you. Would that be more truthful and authentic? Right? So again, it's just a matter of point of view. Therefore, what is it really to be authentic? Well, here's what I say, and you could check this out for yourself. Being authentic is just you being you, without any planning, without any scheming, really without any thought, just acting natural in the moment, expressing yourself freely, intuitively, spontaneously, without any preconditioned thoughts. Sounds good, right? Now you've experienced this. You could check this out for yourself. Now just look back at some times in your life where you felt really satisfied, where like everything in your life was coming together, like everything was in the flow. And just in that moment, you're like, wow, this is really, really great. Now, maybe it was a moment where, say you're on vacation and you're sitting on a beach and watching the most gorgeous sunset. And you're sitting there going, wow, what an incredible thing. I can't believe I'm here to witness this. I don't want this moment to end. Or maybe it's a situation in which you just accomplished something really great in your life. You're like, oh, yes, I did it. And you just felt wonderful, on top of the world. Now, notice your state of mind in these moments, or lack thereof. Notice that. See, like if you're sitting there watching the sunset, is there a lot of mental activity going on? Are you thinking about having to return to work the next week, or paying your bills, or making another doctor's visit in that moment? No. Your mind is just empty of all that stuff. You're just fully immersed in the moment, watching what's happening. Or if you look at the situation in which you accomplish something and you feel so good. See, right before that accomplishment happened, you're working at it, you're struggling at it, you're pushing, you're grinding away to get it done, and you have these, what ifs. It might work, it might not work. But finally, it worked. You did it. And after that, it's like, for a moment, there's nothing to think about. I did it. I succeeded. I don't have to scheme or plan or worry anymore. Just in the moment, enjoying now. And if you look at these moments, you'll also notice you may be expressing yourself more freely. You may go, look at how funny I was. I was just joking and saying some really funny stuff. Like, where did that come from? And there wasn't any need to protect yourself. You weren't worrying about what others thought. You felt like you were the king. And you'll see in those moments, there's not a lot of thinking going on. So, really, to be more authentic is to be quieter in your mind. That's the best way to measure your authenticity. So how do you get there? How do you be authentic and know it? Now, the first major step I'm going to show you right now that's going to make the biggest difference is letting go of what others think about you. Because think about that. If you're worried about getting other people's approval, worried about what they think about you, whether they agree with you, notice what you do when you're thinking that way. And notice what your actions are. They're not authentic. So for example, like you might hold back your opinions. So somebody says something and you're like, oh, I have a completely different point of view, but I'm not going to share what I think because I don't want them to think bad about me. I don't want them to think I'm one of those kind of people, right? So you don't speak your mind. Or you do things like you laugh at people's jokes when they're not funny. You agree to do things that you really don't want to do, but you do it because you think that you're going to earn some favorability. That's not being authentic. But these are the games that we all play every single day. Trying to please people, trying to win them over, right? So if we could just stop doing that, then we're going to really find it within us to act more naturally and let go of all that thinking, all that worrying about what do they think about me, all that self-consciousness. This is how you can wipe all of that out. And this is going to be a major step where you can experience for yourself being truly authentic. So think about somebody in your life right now where you're wanting their approval, where you're wondering, well, what do they think about you? And it might be somebody like a colleague that you work with or a boss. Could be someone like in your family. Could be your neighbor. But just think about somebody in your life right now who you're looking for their attention, their positive attention, their approval. And look at all the thinking that goes on in that. You know, how should I act? What should I say? What should I not say? Right? And all that scheming, the more you get into your mind, the less authentic you are, because it's just, it's just a program, a plan. And it's not coming directly from your heart, right? Now notice this. Whose decision is it to want this person's approval? It's your decision. And if you look at this person, and you look at how long this situation has been going on, like how long you've been wanting their approval, notice that. And how long has that been? Depending on the person, you can see this has been going back months, even decades. So, in wanting their approval, if it's been going on for that long, do you think you're ever going to get it? Or are you just going to keep playing these games and still feeling like you lack it? Look at it. Isn't that what's going on? And isn't that a waste of time? And look at how you feel. All the time that you're worried about what they think about you, you're holding a negative picture in mind. And you're feeling like you lack that approval. Like there's a void and you have to kind of do all these things to fill that void up so you don't feel so lacking. But you never have been able to satisfy that void. But you can right now. By reversing that initial decision to want their approval. So follow along with me. See, what we do here is experiential. Your mind might say, well, wait a minute. That's not nice to let go of wanting someone's approval, because that would just make me aloof and distant. That would separate me, make me an a-hole. No, it's not true. And you can see for yourself. It actually brings you closer and makes you more connected. Right? Check this out. So think about this person whose attention, whose approval that you want. And notice, you really don't feel like you're getting it, or you have to work for it. And whatever you do, it's never enough, right? So right now in this moment, could you let go of wanting this person's approval, just to see what the difference is? And could you let go of wanting this person's approval a little bit more? And what it is just letting go of that neediness, that clinginess. I gotta have it. And it's all about me. What do you think about me? Right? Which leaves you feeling insecure, self-conscious. This is what you're letting go of. Could you let go of wanting this person's approval? Yes or no? It's just a decision. And could you let go of wanting this person's approval a little bit more? And could you let go of wanting this person's approval even more? And could you let go of wanting this person's approval even more? And could you let go of wanting this person's approval even more? And even more. And even more. And examine this for a moment. Does it feel better to want that person's approval, or does it feel better to have their approval? Notice that difference. Does it feel better to want, or does it feel better to have? It's way easier to have, right? There's no effort. There's no lacking feeling in having. But when you're wanting, there's effort, there's insecurity, there's lacking. That's not so great. And it's your decision. You are in charge of what you experience. So could you make the smart decision now? Just let go of wanting their approval. And a little bit more. And a little bit more. And also, notice, another good reason to let go of wanting their approval is look at what you're holding in mind when you're wanting their approval. It's always a picture of it's difficult to get. You see, it's just a picture. You always have to work for it, and it's never enough. That's your picture that you're walking around with all the time. Does that picture help you? You want to keep that picture that nobody approves of you, and you got to work at it to earn it? That's ridiculous. So could you let go of wanting their approval? And could you let go of wanting their approval even more? And could you let go of wanting their approval even more? And even more. And even more. Now notice how you feel. Just notice how you feel right now. Just simply notice if you feel a little bit lighter. That's all we're looking for. It's just a lighter feeling now. You notice that? And notice if it feels now more like you have approval. You have satisfaction and love. You notice that? And where is that nice feeling coming from? It's inside of you, right? So that love that you were looking for out there, and the other one, when you let go of it, you find that that love that you were looking for has been inside of you all along. Now, how awesome is that? Now, since you have love, instead of looking to take it from somebody else, how about you give it freely now? Isn't this a better position to come from when you have it to give rather than needing it, having to take it from others? So this person right now, could you just give them love and approval? And for no specific reason. Not because, oh, you do nice things for me, or you're a nice person, or you have beautiful hair. No. Just, could you love them? Just because. And could you give them some more love and approval? Just because you can. And could you give them some more love and approval? And some more. And notice how you feel now. See, when you let go of wanting their approval, you're free to give it to them. And notice when you think about this person, your relationship to them now. Does it feel more close and connected? Yeah? And so this proves that all those arguments in your mind about, oh, I gotta want that person's approval, that's a loving thing. It's not loving. Your mind had it wrong. And right here's proof. When you let go of wanting it, you have it. Now, since you have it, could you give yourself some love and approval? Don't wait around for others to do it. Why don't you give it to yourself now? Could you love yourself? And for no particular reason, just because you can. Just because it's now. Could you give yourself some love and approval? And could you give yourself some more love and approval? And even more. And even more. And even more. And how does that feel? Now you see how powerful you are? How you can open up the channels for yourself of love and approval and satisfaction. And notice that light feeling now. See this lighter feeling? You know what this is? This is the authentic you. Without the negativity of the mind. When you get the mind out of the way, the very essence of you is love, happiness, joy, approval. And you don't need to think about it. It just is. What better way to discover the authentic you than by doing it firsthand, like now, seeing for yourself. It's all inside of you. And you also may notice that your mind's a bit quieter now than it was a few moments ago. Right? So it goes hand in hand. When you get your mind out of the way, all your mind is just a bunch of concepts, stories that are constantly changing and therefore are never true. So get out of your mind. Just get in the moment. Be you, spontaneous, unconditioned, authentic. That's it. It's that simple. So keep practicing this. Keep proving this to yourself. And by the way, if you've been watching the past couple videos, you may notice I've been pointing out a new class that's coming up, the 6-week Conscious Couples Relationship course. And this aspect of being authentic is a major thing that we're going to look at in this course. Because in our relationships, a lot of our actions aren't authentic. We hold ourselves back. We keep part of ourselves closed off. We keep ourselves protected in our relationships, in our most intimate ones. But if we can open up, let go of these barriers so that we're free to really be ourselves and show up authentically in our relationships, that makes our relationships way better. So this is a big key to unlocking real harmony and connection and closeness in our lives. So if this is something you're looking for, check out the link. I'll put a link right here and also in the description below. And join me on this new course. But keep it up. Keep releasing. Keep moving forward, onwards and upwards. And I'll see you on the next video.